Alright, I think we are live. Yup. Alright, let's pop out the chat here. Alright, what is up? So, I will be running Tears of the Kingdom all dungeons. This category is around 3-ish hours. We're like 2.5 to 3 hours. And I'm playing on version 1.0. That will be very, very crucial right at the beginning of the game. So yeah, hold on. I forgot to add Discord commentary. Hold on, let me Discord. All right. All right, Armando, can you speak real quick? All right, we're good to go. All right. Run will start in 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so a couple things off the bat. First things first, voice language will be in English, but our text, as you can see, not right now, but when you can see when I started the game, it is in Spanish. So for certain cutscenes in this game, or specifically with dialogue, sometimes specific languages will have faster text or less text. And Spanish is the fastest for all dungeons. The bottom is just an input display that I have. And right off the bat, I'm not going to talk that much here because I need to lock in, as someone said.
Yeah, I'll just take over. So what I will be doing right now is taking advantage of one very weird glitch that 1.0 has, which is really just related to Link's hitbox being a bit janky when you're climb jumping in version 1.0. So you can clip certain spots using that. You're just going to use this to go out of bounds here and be able to dodge Zelda's dialogue, so that way he can like save around a minute in intro.
Yeah, so the reason why I didn't want to talk there is because if I hit any of the cutscenes or I void out, I lose it. Specifically those final 2 cutscenes. There is a much easier way to get around that, but who cares? I got it anyways.
Yeah, you lose sometime if you went the other way, but
yeah.
you did it anyway.
So here, I am using a mod to skip a cutscene. There's a cutscene here that is 3 minutes and 50 seconds around. And there's been a mod and a rule that allows you to load a save to skip it. I'm not about to watch a 4-minute cutscene for the 1000th time, so I've been using it. So we're gonna load in the Remove Awakening here, and for now, it's gonna look the same. But usually we gotta go activate a cutscene, and then we gotta go and dive into some water. But we're not gonna do that because that is slow, and we don't like slow.
Yes.
So instead, there's going to be a cog on the right, and we're going to jump off the cog in a specific way that will gain extra speed. I'll see.
Yeah, specifically what Dino will be doing is that he will get into the cog. He will run down to the cog because there's a very tiny slope there. Since you're running down a slope, you get more speed, and then you jump, you turn around 90 degrees, and then jump slash, which manage to make you preserve speed for just a little bit more, just a little bit more, and that it will be enough for him to actually reach the ledge.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Please.
If done correctly, you can just get to the ledge, and then you can just continue more or less the way you would go when you're going to recall normally. It's not open right now, but that's not really why we're here in the first place.
Yeah.
We're just here for wings.
Yep, so on top of this island, there just so happens to be 3 wings. And in this version, as player 5 said, if you sneeze, you can duplicate your wings.
Yes.
This game has
arguably... Even if you need to, you can literally just stand there, press random buttons, you duplicate something.
Yep, so I'll get there in a hot second. And then also, if you see me just taking out my sword, I'm doing something called crouch tap throw sprinting, whereas that if I crouch, immediately cancel it, and then unsheath and then resheath my sword, I regain stamina just a little bit faster. So as you can see
Yeah,
here, I
this is
have 3
mostly something you
rings.
have to do multiple times to save time, but I mean, you're gonna save all of the frames you have. You can't,
Look
but
at
yeah.
that. Now I have 22 wings out of thin air. So now we're just going to run off here. And we're going to run off this side because hopefully I'll do a trick called wing flip, which is coming up. And we'll be able to save a lot of time going into Ascent. By the way, the first 15 minutes of this run are absolutely brutal. If you fail basically anything, like a lot of times, you lose astronomical amounts of time. So that's why it's very important to get everything here first try, because from here on out, we're basically going to be playing a big game of the floor is lava. So essentially, we're going to get onto a wing, and then we're going to stay on wing so that our respawn coordinates won't update, and you'll see what happens in a second. I'll need a little bit of quiet here. Nice. There we go. So that
To
might...
explain a little
Yeah.
bit more of why Dino is playing this game of Flora's Lava, essentially, this game does not consider wings or any zoning device as valid coordinates for you to spawn in because otherwise you have ones that would have variable coordinates or coordinates in the air like a wing, right? So we cannot do that, which means he can keep staying on wings all the way until he goes through the Temple of Time door, because that way, if he does not update the coordinates and then makes a save, for example, and then loads it, it will load him back to the last valid coordinates he had, which is all the way up into our like ROA, which gives him way too much height, right? So he can just easily get to the next shrine we're going to.
Yeah. And in this game, there are numerous ways to just negate fall damage, so being up really, really high, especially with these wings, is really, really powerful. So here,
Yes,
I'm going to
the way
spawn a
he can
wing.
cancel fall damage are really limited early on, though, so Dino have to do a really hard fall damage cancel later on. It's doable though, so.
Okay. So I just simply got on a wing. To kind of explain it a little more in depth, I did a backflip, then did a neutral dive, spawned a wing, and then that wing spawns in a perfect way that if I do a backwards jump slash, and the reason why I do it backwards is because when Link is facing more than 90 degrees from your camera, like facing towards you, he will carry his momentum.
Yes, this is also what we use for the cog skip.
Yes, it's the exact same method for cog skip and the other jump slashes and intro as well.
In fact, those jump slides in intro, which we normally call monster jumps, are actually buffed in 1.0 because you can actually cancel them earlier. So,
Nice.
in fact, they're so powerful that though way slower, there is a way to do what Dino's doing right now not right now, what he did with the construct up until there with just jump slashes. It's really hard. It doesn't save that much time compared to this method, but it is possible.
Alright, so here, just a sec. Okay.
Yeah, now
so,
Dino is doing something called drop suggle. Explaining it, I don't think explaining it will really be that important here. But the important part is he just has a weapon like is on his feet. It also transfers through saves. So when he gets here into prologue again, he can just pick it up immediately and unlock his inventory in prologue.
And what this allows is that this Master Sword and intro we can actually obtain if we have the menu. And this Master Sword has a couple of unique traits. One of them being that it never takes durability. So it is really powerful if we put it on one durability. It can double its damage, and that will come in very, very handy later.
Yes.
So those inputs that I did after, that's called a dynamic zuggle, and you'll... Oh, that's really bad. It's fine. But this... Yeah, so what I did was called a dynamic zuggle, and essentially, by doing some inputs, I can attach multiple weapons onto Link's model, and that's really, really powerful.
Yeah, you interrupt the state of a weapon dropping, and then like you interrupt it and just keep it on Link. Like I mean, I could probably explain this more in depth, but it's not really going to matter that much. But, like the important part is now Link has can have multiple weapons connected to him. So and then all of them do damage, and okay, they also transfer through saves, right? So right now Dino only has one because he only has
Yeesh.
yes.
As expected. That is very unfortunate. So I was trying to take out a wing, but the menu in this game is insanely slow. So I tried to take out a wing,
Normal
and it
menu is
just
way
didn't.
faster than quick
Yeah.
menu, just to have an idea.
Alright, so now we're at the top again, so hopefully we can do it the intended way.
Yeah. Continue with dynamic Zogo. So like, yeah, you can also see since dynamic Zogos go through saves or any kind of Zogo in fact, he still has it on his back. The and also the reason why it's specifically called dynamic in comparison to other kinds, it's just because it follows the state of the weapon. So you see that, for example, when he was going into throw aim, the master sword on his back still follows his normal weapon. That's just what that means.
So essentially, what I did there is that when you climb in this game, it negates all fall damage. So I got into a spot where I can climb on on the specific geometry of this of the shrine, because the shrine is potato shaped. It's not great, but it doesn't get our fall damage.
Yep.
That is going to be some unfortunate time loss though. That is around a minute, which is fine. It should be okay.
Yeah, no, you can definitely still hit target with this.
Yeah, no big deal. So what we're gonna do here, or actually first, we're gonna keep this kind of onto our model for a while, and that will come up later in recall. But for now, we're just gonna kind of keep it on our model, and it will stay there. And we're just gonna kind of progress through Ascend kind of normally until we kill the construct. Because that will give us one bow, and then if you ever open the chest in the shrine, there's actually two. It's one of the only shrines with two shrine chests. If you've ever opened the shrine chest that is to the right of the construct, you'll know that there's a second bow in there. And since we do not have some specific circumstances that aren't really relevant for this specific category, we will need two bows to kind of give us our movement on GSI. Because if anyone's played the game casually, they'll know that running across GSI is really slow. And of course, we don't like slow, so we're going to fix that. So we're going to grab one bow here. And if
This is. I guess I should start explaining this already. So what Dino will do, some sort of mechanic just what allows him to do that dynamics of the way he does in 1.0 to get something called a quick drop smuggle. Essentially, this is going to be a similar state to what he will get specifically right now is a similar state to what he got to get the weapon at his feet on prologue, but this one will be equipped. The reason why that's important is just because it will allow him to be able to do a glitch called arrow smuggle in this game, which is very powerful for movement because you can just cancel jump slashes like this. There are a lot of ways to reach this state, but all of them just the main thing about them is that all will allow you to cancel your jump slashes, so you can just chain it, so you can just keep chaining it to gain height and to preserve speed.
And the main thing about canceling jump slashes is that, of course, a jump slash gives you a little bit of height, and if you can cancel it while you're gaining that height, of course, you can gain height. That's how, this is the main example of us needing height, but we will on the way to Ultra Hand as well. But another main powerful aspect of this is that we can clip through ceilings, and we can negate all fall damage. So you'll see that coming out of Ascend, where if you do a jump slash and cancel it, and when you go into a dive animation, and that dive animation goes up, it resets your height value. I'm sorry, because the way that height is calculated in this game is it's from the top, or from where it starts to the ground, and if you hit the ground at a specific value, you take damage or you die. So if we can reset that height value whenever we want, just like in Breath of the Wild, if anyone has seen a Breath of the Wild speedrun, we can just negate all fall damage. Of course, this isn't as easy as Breath of the Wild, but it is still pretty easy once we have this.
Yeah. Dino will also combine this with being able to preserve more speed by turning the camera 9 degrees or more from him to be able to preserve speed while using this, just for faster movement GSI in general. Because we don't have some requirements to do faster movement tech.
So we're just going to cancel our fall damage there. And here we're going to pick up a shield, some Bright Bloom Seeds, and a bomb. These Bright Bloom Seeds will come in very, very useful in Construct Factory, and these bombs will be really useful for the Great Sky Island. Hold up. That did not look good. Please? No. Oh, dang it.
Well, essentially what Dino was trying to do there was he was trying to choose that capsule to be able to hit the construct below. That's one of the constructs that actually gives you the battery in normal gameplay. So if he managed to actually hit it, he would be able to avoid a cutscene that from a construct that forcefully gives it to you when you finish fuse. And this one is actually and doing like this would be faster overall. But it doesn't really impede anything in the run. It's just time loss.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, the battery cutscene after fuse is extremely long.
It's like 40 seconds if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it's 38 seconds. It's a lot. The one here is less than that. Or, sorry, the one from the Ascend construct is like 10 to 12 seconds, I think. It's significantly less. So if you aim at a specific spot and you keep the construct loaded in, that's why I was kind of looking horizontal in the cave. You can hit him, you can hit his raft, and you'll be like, hey, that's not nice. Don't hit my raft, please. And then it'll just give you the battery for vandalizing his property. So, unfortunately, I missed it. My gyro aimed a little too far left, which was kind of unfortunate. It's not that big of a deal in a marathon run, but usually if that happens in a normal run, it's kind of just a reset, because it's a lot of time loss.
You can thank that longer category, but if you do something like 80%, like you're just switch reset immediately. Just be careful those balls. Okay, thank you. So yeah, something we didn't mention because this is very this normally doesn't matter, but like the version of 1.0 specifically ends up being able to blow bombs up way easier. So if you're not careful with dupes, you can sometimes just get them to explode in your face and die.
Yeah. So this is kind of the main. That's not great. This really goes to show how like busted this game is duping wise. Because I just manifested 17 bombs out of thin air.
Being midair, trying to take them out, and then trying to sort and close it at the same time makes so the game try to sort and also drop the bomb same time. It can't. It doesn't really like that, so it just dupes it. It's not. I mean, it's a bit more complicated than that, but that's about all you need to know.
No way. There's no way that just happened. Oh man, that feels great. So, if you are kind of a little confused and why I'm really happy, the reason is that thing that little strat that I didn't fuse, where I did a dive into a bomb jump, it saves like around 2 seconds. But I learned it 30 minutes before this run, and I was like, you know what? It'd be kind of cool to show off. I fully expected to fail it, but pleasant surprise. Gravity is optional. I totally agree. Gravity, you will see very, very clearly.
Yeah, gravity doesn't matter in this game. It doesn't matter which version you are. Gravity doesn't matter.
Yeah, gravity just is an option. It's just an option in this game. All right.
One way to put it is that gravity is like gates are in TP. They don't. Like if you can just ignore their existence.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna need a little bit of quiet here because this is very precise-ish. Ooh, that's great. I think it's fine. Am I gonna need to die? I think so. Or I could just lose all my speed. That too. Okay. There we go.
Yeah, Dino just lost his speed just to be safe. You should not die, but yeah,
Yes.
there we go.
So
So
that is very tricky, by by the way. If you want
yeah,
to go
this
explain
yeah,
that.
this is just an example of being able to combine something that gives you initial speed, like a bomb jump, and being able to turn your camera 90 degrees or more to preserve speed, and also just keeping your height of aerosmogel flight. You should just fly through GSI. It's really amazing, but we have faster stuff once you get out of GSI.
Yeah, so we'll have other methods, but the reason why I kind of needed some quiet there is because for that arrow flight, it is really fast. I have to basically chain Z, R, and Y at 135 to 138 beats per minute. If I go any higher than that at my current rhythm, I will either jump slash or it will just not go through. And that will lose probably a minute, maybe more than that. Alright, you know what? Armindo, should I go for a rail grind? Why not? Let's do it.
Yeah, why not? Just do it.
Oh, dang it.
And
Unfortunate. Doesn't lose too much time losing it like that. It's
yeah,
okay, though.
and this is already like at the end of the shrine pretty much, so it's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So there, I went for something called the rail grind. And essentially what the rail grind is that we don't actually grind on the rail. Instead, we aeroflate at a specific height so that Link's momentum gets redirected right into the pedestal. It's really precise. You have to be it's because if you're too low, like you saw there, you get pushed down. If you're too high, then you lose all your speed because your feet just barely graze it, and then you stand on top of the rail. There, it doesn't really lose any time because I'm going to surrender instead of right. Hold up. There we go. So then there, I did something called...
You actually do the crawl. Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah.
So there, I did
For
something called
context,
a
this
crash
for context, that thread was not used in 1.0 for a long while. It was just that I was just surprised because of that. The thread was mostly just a thing for glitchless runs and crash runs. Up
Ever
until
like
I
grab
don't
to
know,
keep
like
it down? Real, absolutely real.
yeah.
So yeah, essentially, how that works is if you get a little bit of speed when you crouch dash. So if you crouch dash and then you spawn a wing in a specific place so that it touches the ground just a little bit to slow it down, you can crouch dash off the ledge to preserve your speed just enough so that you can get on the wing. It is very precise, and the reason why I do it is because I practiced it a lot, and if
Yeah.
I didn't, and the other methods, I haven't practiced. So,
Yeah, as I said, like the reason Olado didn't do it before precisely because of that. Because this flight was mostly just used by glitchless and current patch. Because glitchless obviously they have to squeeze out as much time save as they need to, and current patch up until GSI was still pretty glitchlessly aside from dupes. So you kind of need to squeeze out time from GSI. But at some point you just have to optimize even the glitcher version. So. It doesn't.
alright, so now we're just gonna try to open the door, but we're not really gonna open it. Instead, if we just press B, it counts as attempting to open the door. So Raru is probably just looking at us and being very ashamed that we had such a futile attempt on opening a door.
Yep, but he just ignores it and be like, oh, well, I guess that's about it.
Yeah, it's time loss, and if you try to open the door, I'm pretty sure you die, and if
you go through it...
Yeah.
Actually, no, you don't. Actually, no, yeah, if you go through with the whole thing, you can actually die.
Yeah.
Because this door drains your HP the whole way. You don't have enough, because you need 4 hearts to be able to open it. So if you try now, some of you might have encountered in a normal game, you just die.
Yep, and we can't afford to die, because if we die, then we lose Arrow Smuggle, and Arrow Smuggle's the invisible bow that's on their back, and that's really bad.
Yeah, to be fair, that is probably one of the sections where it will not be that slow to will not that be that slow to get it back because you can just set it up again and then warp here and then you get it more or less back, but you're still losing a lot of time because you died. So.
Yeah. Alright, so in Fuse, I'm going to be doing something called a bomb recycle. And essentially what a bomb recycle is you are recycling your bomb. Or any Fuse material. So I'm going,
Yeah,
when you shield surf and you swap to your shield and you drop it, I'll just kind of show you what happens.
yeah,
Swap
this is
off.
something that happens with any Wall 1.0 because this version is stupid broken. There's also deletes modifiers, which is kind of unfortunate, but it does mean you can just keep recycling the same fuse material.
Yeah. So that will allow us to recycle our bomb, and since we went down the slope, you can see that we got a lot of speed. And that speed is really, really good for, hey, nearly golden. That's crazy. But essentially, that it gives us speed, and we can save a durability and a bomb, so it's really nice. So then out of here, we're finally gonna detach the weapons from Link's model, because we kind of want to be able to use them. And the reason why we do them here is because the warp load from Recall to Ultra Hand is really slow, but the longer that you're in this cavern, you will save a little bit of time. It's not like you want to wait here and then warp, because then you'll just be losing time outright, but if you need to do something that you can do anywhere, you do it here. So like if you need to scan Amiibo, you'll do it at Recall, or if you need to throw your weapons, you'll do it at Recall. And if you saw, I jumped before I opened the map, and that is because it skips the Link pulling it out of his inventory. Hold up. That's not great. Please? There we go. Okay. So it skips the animation where Link pulls it out of his inventory. And that is really useful because that's just kind of like a free 2 seconds. Okay, so I did another crouch dash wing, and then there I did a head bonk. So we can shield jump in the right spot, where that if we just give Link concussion, he will send us not just he will transfer the speed and he'll go forward. So yeah, it's not as bad as, for example, like Breath of the Wild, where we're just shooting him with bombs. But you know. This isn't really a Broken Tears, or this isn't really a Broken Zelda game if we don't put them through a couple traumatic injuries.
Yeah, you just look at OG. This is still better than Link dying every single time which wrong warp. It's fine.
It's all good. So then here, I'm gonna drop a wing, and I'm gonna do a specific setup so that I can launch off the very tip of the wing. And the very tip of the wing has a unique property where it is a really fast slope. So, of course, fast slope equal lots of speed.
Yes.
Alright, so...
If steep slope equals speed, so I don't be able to get a be able to go to the damage master battle so really quick.
There we go.
Nice. Yeah, your shield's about to break.
Great
But
Sky Island.
yeah, it's
Done.
fine. Ta-da.
Nice. Boom.
Nice. This is
So now
also
the game...
sub-30, it just doesn't look like it because it's counting intro.
Yeah. So now the game gets really broken.
Yeah, first thing we'll need to get rockets because I think most people have probably seen it, but rockets are really broken. You can just use them to gain a lot of height. So again, one of the most desired movement attacks is again what I was referring to, which is called pocket rocket. It's a glitch that we'll see a lot. In fact, we'll see like a version of it that's a little bit more different than what you might have seen. But first, we're going to see just normal pocket rocket, which I will be doing shortly.
Oh, hey, look, it's some
First, you just
rockets.
need to the first you just need to do a quadrillion rockets because yeah, why
Okay.
not?
So now we're going to do a fuse entangle, which I'll let Armindo explain. And then now I'm just going to magically float our way over to a really nice item.
Yeah, the basics of fuse segment is that you just interrupt the fuse process in the middle. So in this sense, it's already counted as fuse to the shield, but it hasn't actually consumed the object yet. So you simultaneously have the object in the field and also to your shield or weapon as well. But the method that Dyna was doing also only works for shields if you're doing directly. But anyway, with this, he can just fuse it to the weapon, and then he can just keep bumping the rocket in the shield, and it'll just keep giving him height. Also, because of a specific 1.0 property in 1.0, the rocket never gets deleted. So the only limitations he has right now are from battery or from durability. Unfortunately, wooden shields are not great for durability, so this will break very shortly.
Unless we just get a metal shield that emit there. So what I did
Yes.
there was I did something called item sort transmutation, or material sort transmutation. So essentially, hold on, this airflight's a little precise. I'll explain in a second. And it's just because these loads can be a little problematic. Okay, nice.
What? Oh.
So, essentially, if you do not have a anything equipped and you go in to pick up a new item that is on the ground, when you swap, if it's in a different place, you can equip that specific weapon and it will transmutate into it.
What?
And it's temporary, but if you drop it, then it fully transmutates into that. So we transmutated our 1 durability shield
Yes.
into a full durability rusty shield, which will be very important coming here.
Yeah. Yeah, that kind of technique is pretty widespread throughout this game. Essentially, getting that kind of desync it means you can actually do two things, which is one transfer durability, but fuse material and modifier, which is not what we were trying to do. Or in this case, we'll just transmutate something. No, we'll have to go for it.
10, 11, 12. Okay. I would like a little bit of quiet here because this is pretty tough. No, that's not great. I think it's fine. Hopefully. Wait. Okay. Should spawn it right. Okay. Whew. So, that was really stressful because now we're playing another game of The Floor is Lava. So we are going to spawn a rocket to hopefully interrupt us touching the ground. So if I press plus and I immediately save, we shouldn't be touching the ground, if I did it right. If not, we're just going to lose a minute, and that's not great. I really don't want to lose another minute. This is a little precise because we have to spawn a wing, stand on the wing, and then we have to spawn the rocket in a very precise spot. But I did practice this, so hopefully my practice pays off. Ugh, I pressed... damn it. Okay. Unfortunate. I failed it. I did get it, but unfortunately, since this game is very stupid with its pause timings, I did not, in fact, get it. So now, we're gonna do some good old Indian spaghetti. And there we go. So, essentially, what I'm doing there is that I'm doing something called Infinite Pocket Rocket. I have no clue how it works. Armindo does, so I'll let him explain. But, if you see here, there will be a tiny rocket, hopefully. There it is. And then I'm just going to pick up these 2 rocket shields. And now, we have a pocket rocket that will never break. Alright. So, essentially, what we're doing is that, again, we're doing the fuse entangle. But if you interrupt fusing something when it's in recall, it has a very unique property of kind of just like it fuses, but it doesn't. And we can very conveniently use that not fusing property to how do I put it? To just not have it take durability. And the reason for that is because for some reason, when you just do a normal fuse entangle with a rocket, it doesn't take durability and it doesn't take battery. But when you fuse it to your weapon, it uses both of those. And for some reason, this uses less battery, but it doesn't take durability. The only caveat is that we have to technically not have it equipped when we go through warps and loads. And essentially, we can do that by zuggling. And of course, when I showed you dynamic zuggle, I will be using static zuggle, which is a little bit different, but it uses kind of the same property, where you're basically interrupting collision on his back to stack materials onto his model, and when you have it, it doesn't really count as it actually being equipped. So I will kind of show that off here. 1, 2. So I'm just gonna zuggle this, just like so. And it doesn't show it, but I should have 2 shields equipped right now. And it looks like it's fused to my weapon, but it's really not. It's what we call a ghost, what we call a ghost fuse, where specifically if you fuse it with, if you fuse a Zonai device, in a specific way, it will become tiny, and it will be sent to something called Purgatory. Purgatory is not, it's a really long explanation, but it's basically just, it's attached to Link, but it's not at the same time. So, essentially, if we put it in Purgatory, it will stay with Link, but it's not really attached to Link in a way. And that's how we kind of like... So this is going to be our main movement tech. Unfortunately, I did not get the floor's lava because of bad menuing. I pressed plus too fast, and then my collision got regained. Or not collision, my respawn coordinates got regained. So that is kind of like 40 seconds of time loss. It's not great. I did practice it though, which was kind of unfortunate that I missed it, because I got it right, but I got the part that I couldn't really control it wrong. So there's the paraglider. And now we are, in fact, going to have to launch from the tower. One little unique thing about this game is that we don't actually have to launch from the tower to get the paraglider. Once we have the paraglider, we can just kind of say bye to Purah, but unfortunately, we have to talk to Purah to unlock Spirit Temple. If you go to Spirit Temple before you talk to Purah, it will say, something mysterious is telling you that you shouldn't be here yet. So then if you go talk to Purah...
that Purah gives you here.
Yeah. But we actually don't have to do all 4 temples before defeating Spirit Temple. So that means that we're going to do Spirit Temple first, because it has some very, very cool things like steering sticks and carts, which are going to be very, very, very useful. But you don't actually have to complete all 4 temples in Hyrule Castle to unlock Spirit Temple. It's just that it unlocks the quest. So if you're doing something that is quest related, you have to do it in a specific order. If I remember correctly, it's that you have to beat Spirit Temple. You have to beat Hyrule Castle. Activate the you have to activate the Minior Mask and defeat Hyrule Castle before you talk to the people from Kakariko to, like, quote-unquote de-thunder the Isles, which gets rid of the green haze. Otherwise,
you have a whole quest with to go there. Like that's why we even get like one of the dragon clothes you have. Like I think it's like a Ferocious one, but yeah, we're not doing this here. If you couldn't tell already,
we could not care about quests at all. So we're just gonna warp to Recall. And then from here, we're going to grab a large Zonai Charge, which will be great for damaging down to 1 durability, because like I said before, if we get our Master Sword from the intro, to 1 durability, it will actually double the damage. Yeah, and that
Yeah, you would
includes
just
the
keep
fuse.
applying the crit from breaking every time because it never actually breaks because it doesn't subtract durability.
Yeah, so we're going
So
to
it's pretty.
draw, pick up, and there we go. Now you
Okay,
can really see here how gravity is just not an option.
and you can just do this and it doesn't matter.
So we're going to grab an Ancient Arowana here, which will allow us to get the Zora armor. And we'll need the Zora armor to, of course, climb up the waterfall, but also for Gerudo. I'll get into that just a
Yeah,
little
we
bit
need.
later. But, yeah. So, now...
Gerudo has a different requirement for what he had from Breath of the Wild. In this case, we don't really necessarily. Nick doesn't necessarily need to disguise himself, but he can be naked. They won't let him in, so.
Specifically, if he is wearing no body armor piece, he is not allowed in. Apparently, Gerudo doesn't like cleavage, so.
Yep.
Yeah. Alright, so we're gonna grab
So,
Berry here. Hopefully.
the Zora greens are just really really convenient because they're already on the way. We just pick a fairy because again we can easily dupe it. One fairy means infinite, so.
Do some fairies and some more Zonite charges. So now we're gonna use a large Zonite charge when we almost run out of battery. So that we can.
And I don't.
Yeah.
I don't think Dino mentioned this, but there are a few different methods of doing infinite pocket rocket. This one specifically still uses like slides amounts of battery, so you can actually each pop the charge at some point. But like each one of them has like their advantages and disadvantages. There's only one that has everything, literally everything, which is ultimate pocket rocket, which is not done in this category because the setups count.
Okay. Holy loads.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we have a 1 durability weapon, and now we're gonna do something called weapon state transfer, which is transferring it to our weapon. Wow, crazy.
Yes, by getting a desync, like I said before, like I mentioned when Dinah was doing that dupe with the new item, he's just going to get a desync here, and that's going to transfer.
Not one.
He's going to transfer everything from that weapon to the water. So like durability, fused material because that one didn't have a modifier.
3.
Right now, Dino is just doing dynamic zoggles. In this case, both for damage and also because of the movement glitch we'll be doing later.
6.
So he just have like
7.
You do 8, right?
8. I do 9.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you have aside from his equipment, you also have 9 extra unbreakable master swords and to his end. Should do a stupid amount of damage.
Yeah. So if you don't think that, first off, we have 10 weapons equipped. So we're gonna be doing 10x damage. But
yes, they
we're
all
really
do
gonna be doing
80.
20.
They all do 80 damage,
So
by the way.
So yeah, we just 5-shot a white Lionel. And then now we're just gonna unequip some weapons, and we're gonna do just a little bit more.
This is still kind of weak compared to the max amount of damage you can do in this game, by the way. But even then, Lionels just get melted.
We'll be doing even more damage later.
Also, the reason why Dino didn't trigger Infinite Pocket Rocket here is just because he didn't have any battery. So that's why he just did a normal shield jump.
Okay.
That weapon will be important later for car slides, which we'll use. You'll see shortly. Pretty cool tech.
Okay, so then we're
And he did the desync again to be able to dupe a bow for free.
Yeah. So technically, this bow is still counted as a wooden bow, even though it will do everything that a savage. Yeah, it'll do everything that a savage Lionel bow will do, but the game still counts it as a wooden bow for the time being.
Yeah.
We'll drop it later when it is convenient, but not right now.
Yeah, but if you want to instead, you would transfer. You would do a double ST to it, but it doesn't really have anything to transfer, so that would not be useful at all. Just better to get another copy of the lineup bow.
So here we're gonna get cards, steering sticks, and fans. Steering sticks will allow us to clip through floors, which you will see coming up soon. We can also clip you through walls and ceilings. And then carts will be our main long-distance movement tech, and then we grab a fan just
Fans will
from
do
an
nothing.
arrow.
Yeah, fans will essentially
Fans,
do nothing.
yeah, fans don't really do anything, but they are good for Monero, so that's why I grab them.
Yes, and they're also good for
Okay.
collectibles, but like that's
There we
about
go.
it.
And look at that. We have now touched the Minor Mask, and it was kind of hard to see, but essentially, when you put so many weapons on Link's model, it takes up the game's memory. So if you have enough, the game will not be. It will have so much that it just will not be able to register things. Like for example, collision. Which allows us to just clip through floors at will.
Yeah, to give a little bit more of insight to how that works, essentially, normally Link has an amount of attachments he normally takes. When he reaches that maximum, some things will just start failing. Like for example, ultra handing things, and also picking things up. In this case, specifically what Dino did is that he has one less than what you would usually need for that factory takeoff, so he can just pull up an arrow that counts as an extra one, and then he can get you that amount. When he gets to that amount, a lot of things don't really register correctly, including mounting things. So he can just mount things and ignore collision. And as you might know, that is very broken.
Yep, and a steer. Ooh. And you guessed it, a steering stick does in fact count as a mount.
Yes.
Steer counts as mounts, Mineru counts as a mount as well.
Yes, Mineru is kind of dangerous for you to do though, because in most cases, you get there are a few properties about her that you get, but unfortunately none of them are exactly good unless you can void out to keep them. And even if you could keep them, to be honest, this run has no reason to actually do it.
Yeah. Mineru is very, very good for current patch, but for us, we can do everything that current patch can do with Mineru, without her. Or almost everything.
Yeah.
There are some things that we can't do, but...
Yeah, like essentially with Mineru, the whole thing about her is that she's just good for starting glitches, but the one doesn't really need that help, so...
Also,
there are very few circumstances where she matters for 1.0.
Also, that is a huge gold. Very big. That is like a 25-second gold. That is crazy.
Nice. But like Mineru will only really come up in terms of 1.0 when you're doing pure glitch, when you're doing like pure glitch hunting. Then she's used for some things. But like for speedruns, she's pretty much just fodder for runs.
Yeah. So, to kind of go a little more in depth about overload, you don't just get overload from your weapons. It's just things that are attached to Link's model. So that is weapons, shields, bows, all armor, Link's belt, Link's satchel, and then I think that's it on Link.
Yeah.
But you can also add overload to that or reduce the overload threshold, which is just essentially adding overload to it through a couple ways. You'll see one of them from Sidon. Sidon's bubble reduces the overload threshold by 1.
That is when you will not see that as any other patch. Well, that was the only one that can reduce overload threshold like this.
Yeah. But then Mineru also gives us 1 extra overload, which will...
specifically... Reason for that is specifically because mount and specifically because she's a mount and the mount specific itself counts for an attachment, so you just gain an extra one because of that. These things also count, so you can technically gain extra overload. I mean, that's not exactly useful, right? But you can technically just lift and get an extra overload.
My name is Mineru.
Yeah.
I am the
so
sage
So
of
if you're ever one off and you really need, you don't have arrows like it, for example, you can literally just lift something. So
unfortunately,
yeah.
I no longer have a body.
So we're in the
Without
Construct
a physical
Factory,
form.
50 minutes into the
cannot
game.
yet speak
Actually,
face to face.
like 53 minutes technically.
yeah.
But
do you see the 4 storehouses?
these
in the middle?
storehouses that Mineru just so happens to be telling us about are really slow. And if you're sensing a trend here, we don't like slow. So we're gonna skip them. And we're not gonna... Well, of course we need them, but the whole part where we have to carry it through some obstacles, yeah, we're just not gonna do that. So we're gonna do something called weapon desync, and you are desyncing your weapons. Crazy. But essentially, it will think that Link is holding the weapon, or in this case, the bow, and if you attach it to something, it will think that Link is in that area, which will prevent these gates from opening. So I'll show you
Oh yeah,
here.
yeah.
So we're gonna...
This thing specifically has a bunch of methods you can do. This was probably the simplest one, but there are also a few other ones. Oh, specifically what you're doing, specifically to give a little bit more context to specific what Dino's doing here. There's this tech called, I mean, if you were to be a little bit more technical, this is called a Zuggle drop. I mean, you don't really need to know much about it. It's just, like, it's still counted as connected to Link. So when it's connected to the Link, it keeps it loaded.
Yep, and look at that.
That's all we
The
need.
door. Yeah. You can also fuse
Not
and
all the
tangle
way should
Wing
do
as
that.
well, but
Yeah,
we
you
don't.
can also cold fuse, which is another glitch you don't really see in 1.0. At least not in 1.0 runs. You see it in IEL specifically, but yeah.
I mean, it's seen in specific setups, but not usually in runs. So
Yeah.
now, look at that. Now we actually have a Savage Lionel, though. So we're going to line this up specifically to an arrow. And then we're going to drop a rocket on the front side. And then these Bright Bloom seeds that we picked up on GSI are now going to come in handy. Because I should... Hold on, I gotta do...
Yeah. While I'm done, I'm going to explain the whole thing about Bright Bloom Seeds. What they did in this game is that there are items, there are a few items they have different despawn ranges, so, and when you glue something to another item, the game usually takes the one that has the furthest away despawn range as the default one. So in this case, if I'm not, I mean, I might be wrong about the numbers, but I think Bright Bloom Seeds give you about 650 meters. So it will keep that part loaded, so that way we don't lose it.
So we're just going to do the same thing again. This is going to be a little bit repetitive. Unfortunately, these dungeons and the shrines in this game, at least in a speedrunning context, are going to get very repetitive very, very fast. And that is because we are skipping all the unique parts that make them unique, but they're still not really unique. But, you know, we're just gonna do the same thing. We're gonna skip the door, and we're just gonna rock it into the finish.
Yeah, this is not like a pre-Breath of the Wild dungeon. Like, this is not that. Oh, something else that you could, I mean, obviously you're not having problems with doing it from menu, but you could technically also just do the Zego drop by just doing a map Zogo photo wall and then just letting it fall.
Yeah, you said it was a Zogo drop, and I didn't actually realize that. So that is very good to know. I know it's slow.
Yeah, Kurt usually does that from menu because so that's just why I know that.
Nice.
Sorry, not from menu. I mean, well, whatever. You got the point, yeah. But like, yeah, that's usually how you do Zogo drops depending on patch. So it's just more common knowledge.
In this one? No, of course it doesn't. Nice. So then these are gonna be our 2 legs.
That's one.
These rockets
Bring the
aren't
other
that
3
precise,
here
by the
as
way.
well, Link.
They look really precise. But if you were to go and kind of try them, after probably a couple of times, you could get them really consistent. So now here, actually not here, we're gonna do it later. We are gonna go get the
And that's
other
another
2.
part. 2 left.
And we are going to utilize this little river right here. You can't see it right now, at least, because it's really dark. But
yeah, we're not really activating Bright Bloom, not Bright Bloom Seeds, so we're not reactivating.
Wait, because that's
we're not activating Light because that's slow. So most of the depths will be dark.
just like that. And there we go. And it's the exact same thing, where we are just desyncing his equipment to think that Link is standing in the doorway. And these doors cannot stand there if Link or something connected to Link is in the doorway. There we go. So, we're going to do the same thing again. And we are going to attach a Bright Bloom Seed to this, so you'll be able to see the body of water once I launch it over there. So we're going to pick up 2 of those. We're just going to line that up.
So then I'll be leaving shortly. So good luck in the rest of the run.
Thank you. Thanks for commentating. Appreciate it.
Okay. No problem.
Alrighty. So, as you can see, it is now, there's a river that just so happens to lead to the center of Construct Factory. So we're going to launch that in the river, and it's just going to kind of carry it there until, and we're actually, not until, but when we get there, it will just so happen to be waiting for us. So, we're gonna do the same thing, final time. This construct factory was really, really good, by the way. My construct factories are usually a little on the slower side, but this specific construct factory was very fast. This won't be gold necessarily, but that is because I duped items, and duping items always run out of so we're just gonna, as you can see, he's just waiting for us. So we're going to make our way over there, just like so. And there we go. Now, on this side, we're gonna kind of go around the wall because this square stone slab right here will allow us to basically allow us to card slide. You can without it, but the square stone slab essentially makes it 100 times easier.
One more left, Link. The body for my spirit is nearly complete.
And boom, that is Construct Factory done. So now we gotta go to Spirit Temple. And as you guys know, the Spirit Temple journey is really treacherous, and you guessed it, really, really slow. And we don't like slow,
one task remains.
so we're just gonna skip it. You'll see that this claymore that has a square piece of stone attached to it is going to be
It should
pretty
be
powerful.
located here. Please,
and then one more thing.
let us go
When you
there
stand
together.
on Mineru, it gives you the same state as when you're in like a shield
The
jump,
path
where you can
will be
hold
very
things,
dangerous.
but you can't at the same time.
Fortunately, this construct body you have built for me. is
So we
hardly
can just stand on
helpless.
Mineru, sneeze, and then dupe
There is
some
a
more
platform
items. So we're
nearby
gonna do
where
that
we
with
can
our
explore its
fairies
potential.
and my topaz. I'm just gonna dupe some Lionel horns. Usually don't have to, but this is of course a marathon run, so if I mess up anything, like for example, I break
Now
my
hurry,
pocket
Link.
rockets, I will
We
need
must
another one.
recover my secret stone.
And I'll kind of get into that. I hopefully won't have to get into that. So we're gonna mount Mineru. And we're just gonna do some stuff. Okay, and we're gonna dupe some of these, some topaz. 2. And that should be enough. So now we're going to overload drop it. I probably should get jumped beforehand, but it's all good. So now it's at our feet. I am gonna have to be a little bit quiet here because this is very, very challenging. That is a great start. And Eric, please move. Please don't hit it, please. I'm a little close. Nice. So that is what we call the spirit slide. And I like calling it a spirit slide because it takes a lot of spirit. So here, we're going to do something called a ghost fuse. So we're going to overload drop a weapon. We're gonna overload drop a weapon. We're gonna fuse it to our shield, and then we're going to drop one of these. I'll get into why we do that in a little second. And now we go up. Nice. So essentially, if you swap off of your weapon when you fuse something to your Zuggle stack, and your Zuggle stack is the 9 weapons that I'm technically not holding. Essentially, the fuse will get erased. But when we do something called a ghost fuse, which is where we make it a ghost, or where we kind of like purgatory it, and then we just like fuse it to our Zuggle stack, it will always stay fused to our Zuggle stack unless we overwrite it. In here, we don't have any weapons that we could afford to take durability, So we're just going to do a Ghost Fuse to our Zuggle stack, and then we're going to switch to one of our Unbreakable Master Swords. And that will suffice for damage. So if you thought that the White Lionel took a lot of damage, well, you're in for a real treat. So, fun fact. This boss, I think this boss has the most health out of any boss in the entire game. Yes, it is more than Ganondorf. So let's go fight it. There we go. You'll kind of see that here. But this boss has a lot of health, and that is because you're supposed to do it intentionally. But we don't want to do it intentionally. We want to do it fun. So we're gonna do it fun.
Let's go. We have to stop that conflict.
Here we go. So we 9-shot it, I think. I think we 8-shot it. Yeah. So I think we 8-shot it or 9-shot it. Either one. Which means and we kind of have to do 18 shots in this. This has a lot of health. I think it's like 12,000. I'll look it up during the load.
It brought out more arms. Be brave but not careless. Retreat and recover your strength.
Slam into the wall. Spirit Temple. We're gonna, that is not how you do this. Drop, equip. And that is Spirit Temple. Nice. So, actually, I should probably just look it up. Sheets. I'm gonna go look at the data spreadsheet. Let's go see here. Monsters, Seized Construct. The Seized Construct has 40,000 health. So it has the most health out of any boss in the entire game. And with a White Lionel Saberhorn that does, with 10 swords that does double damage, we can beat it pretty handily. And then that is Spirit Temple. And the reason why, if you saw, I did the Zuggle, but I did it crouched, and then dropped an extra couple things to get that you can't take that out of here text. Because that you can't take that out of here text actually puts it on our model. Without it, it doesn't. Yeah, so we're just gonna grab an Ancient Blade from this guy on our right, and then we are going to warp to Lookout Landing, and we are going to go to Water Temple. Okay. I unequip this. I want that. I kind of want that rocket shield, so I'm gonna pick that up. And then we're just gonna walk away. Nice. So we need to Zuggle it, because, like I said before, it does not transfer through warps, loads, and saves, of course. So if we Zuggle it, it's not technically on our model, so it can transfer through those warps, loads, and saves. There is a way to get it through only warps and loads, but we still have to Zuggle it through saves. If I have extra time, I can show you guys. So now we're going to drop, and we're going to pick it up. Drop. That is the right one. And now, we are going to do that same drop smuggle shenanigans to move at exactly 210 miles per hour. I'm using freedom units, by the way. Over to Water Temple. No, that is not great. Please. Ugh. Dang it. It is kind of unfortunate. I think I might have to gain a little extra height here. I think I'm fine, actually. Should go. Yo, what's up, Ivy? Thank you, thank you. So, essentially, when we do this, or the thing that's happening is that this big contraption, which we call an engine, because it basically makes us go places, so we call it an engine. This engine, so to speak, will push the cart forward, and as long as we stay on the cart, we will move forward with it. And the further that we go on the cart, the faster that we will go. So I fell off the cart because I was trying to go as far up as possible. So yeah. And there we see a Blood Moon cutscene. And the reason why is because the game forces you to to have a Blood Moon before you defeat a devil. So if you have a Blood Moon, you won't ever see that cutscene. I think I'll just do this. There we go. Okay. So, if you have not seen a Blood Moon, it will force you through the Blood Moon cutscene, because apparently it's lore. It's not an actual Blood Moon, where it resets bosses and stuff, it's just a cutscene. Also, you can force a Blood Moon in this game called a Panic Blood Moon, where if the game's max capacity for its memory is used up to 90%, it will do a Blood Moon, and that is because a Blood Moon frees up memory space. So it will panic and it'll do a Blood Moon. The same thing can happen in Breath of the Wild, and you might actually see it happen in Breath of the Wild 100% speedruns because of the amount of things that are loaded in at a Tenno Village at the same time. But there's a specific way to get it. We can't really get it on 1.0. There's definitely ways to. The fastest way and the easiest, I unfortunately cannot do. You can do it on 1.1 though. What is 1.1? Essentially, this game is split into, like, 5 patches. I think there's 8. But 3 of them don't really do anything else. So, there's 1.0, 1.1, 1.1.1, 1.1.2, 1.2.0, 1.2.1, and then 1.4.1/1.4.2. So 1.0 is the version that I'm playing on. I'm pretty sure that this is just a dev build of the game, because this has some very unique features attached to it that aren't in any other version. So, and on top of that, the official release of the game was V1.1. And then there was 1.1.1 because of a very specific rare softlock that happened when you tried to beat the Great Sky Islands. Then 1.1.2 came out, and it patched some glitches, one of them being auto-build canceling and map zuggle, which is the zuggle that I use to preserve my pocket rocket shields through warp saves and loads. So we're going to do one more of these cart slides over here. Just like so. I do not want to throw those. Okay. So then 1.1.2 came around and it patched a bunch of stuff. And then 1.2.0 came around, and it patched a crap ton more things, including L cancel, which is what we use to fuse and tangle. You can also gain infinite height with that. I still have collision? Of course I don't. But then 1.2.0 happened, and then it gave us Quick Smuggle. And Quick Smuggle is arguably the most broken... It's one of the dumbest glitches in the entire game. Essentially what Quick Smuggle does is you can do what I did, where I, like, make my bow invisible, and it gives me, like, an invisible arrow. You can just do that in half a second. It's very stupid. And then 1.2.1 patched that, and 1.4.2 didn't patch anything, and then Or 1.4.1 didn't patch anything. 1.4.2 didn't patch anything. I need to split. And then here, we're gonna send up. But 1.4.2 and 1.2.1 are still super broken. So if we ascend up with this blue rock right here, it sends us way up high. In fact, above the waterfall. And we're at perfect rocket distance to go to the fish scale island. And what I'm doing right now is I'm just completing the story. If you need a little refresh on the story, or what we call fish drama, to say. Let's see here. Can we... King scales. So essentially, you have to talk to Yona, which is Sidon's wife, and she's talking about, oh, there's the statue that's covered in sludge. So then you uncover it with sludge, and then she yaps to you for around a minute, and then you go and meet her husband, and then he yaps for around 20 seconds, and he sends you to this old man who's trying to look at a slate. So then you fix the slate, and then he yaps to you for another 30 seconds. And then it says, hey, go get the king's fish scales. So then you go and get the king's fish scales, and it's Yap, and he and his assistant Yap for like 40 seconds. Right? So then you go and launch it through that teardrop that I just so to say. And now we watch Sidon and his wife argue over one of the dumbest things known to mankind.
Yes.
And if you think the story's good in this game, you will be vastly different. Or vastly mistaken. You'll see after this cutscene. So, we get ambushed by a like-like. I personally love like-likes for things that aren't really mentioned or any done in this category. But this like-like we have to kill, unfortunately. So, yeah. And here we're going to be using Sidon's Bubble, and Sidon's Bubble will permanently give us one more towards our Overload. Which basically means that, for the rest of the run, we will have one more Overload. Kind of. Let's just beat him real quick. And he's dead. Okay. So, now that we did, that we used Sidon's Bubble, we talked about something called Reduced Overload Thresholds, or ROTS, or ROT. And essentially, right now, in this current state, we won't be able to Ultra Hand anything. We won't, and we will clip through anything if we mount it. So if I were to mount Monero right now, I would instantly clip through the ground, and I would instantly solve it.
Yes.
Oh, wait. So, this is peak character development right here. Just wait. There it is. Sidon decides to have a seizure. And through his magical seizure, he suddenly gains full trust in the person who he decided to spend the rest of his life with and put all of his trust in before this. And then he gives us a little smile, and then he walks away, and then Yona's like, oh my god, he's such a perfect guy. So yeah. Peak character development. So remember that I was talking about how I kind of screwed myself by zuggling one extra? Yeah, I would never do that to myself. So if I equip a piece of armor in this state, you know what? I won't explain. You'll just kind of see what happens.
Yes.
And now Link is missing his torso. In this state, and I'm not kidding, he does not have a torso right now. And in this state, we actually lose one overload. So now, I will have to draw my bow again. And the reason why I draw my bow is because the arrow that I put, that is definitely a card. The arrow that I just so happened to put by drawing my bow counts one extra towards overload. So we can kind of toggle it whenever we want. So now Link doesn't have a torso, and he won't. The game will kind of give him a torso, but it's not really there. And our armor will technically still be equipped. If I were to enter the menu right now, you will see that the armor is still equipped, even though the game thinks it isn't. Which is what desyncs it, and that desync brings down our overload by 1, like I said. And essentially, that will bring us out of we can't Ultra Hand anything. And the reason why we have to Ultra Hand things is because you need it to card slide. Some people who have already played the game before know that you can also use recalls to start a card slide as well. But with this pocket rocket, it breaks recall. So you can still activate recall, but whenever you try to recall something, it just it doesn't like crash the game. Like the recall just breaks and it doesn't actually recall it. So now we're in the Ancient Zora Waterworks. And this is a quest that usually takes around 20 minutes. I've actually never done the quest because it is super easy to cheese. As you can see. Just like so. And that is the Ancient Zora Waterworks. Holy lag. I don't have water near me, which is kind of... Speaking of, if there's anyone in chat who hasn't drinking water in a hot minute, please go and do so. Let's move that a little bit. There we go.
Here. Come here. Come to me.
So now we're gonna swim up with our invisible piece of Zora armor. And we're just gonna completely skip this section. So you see Sidon down there, usually you have to talk to him. You really don't. You just don't. If you go and hit this cutscene trigger up here, which I am just so happening to go to. There we go. Just like so. Yeah, you can just kind of skip it. As you can see, Sidon teleports up here. And now he's gonna swim up. But we're not, because swimming up is slow. Or specifically here. Other places it's not. And that's a gold. Nice. It's so much more dramatic in Spanish. It's much more dramatic in a less amount of time. So usually when we're moving through Pocket Rocket, we're going to have it active and then pump our paraglider because it's faster. But you can't really take out your paraglider for a very long time when you're in low grav, so we're just not going to do that. For now. You will see it in Fire Temple, you might see it in Wind Temple, you will definitely not see it in Lightning Temple, and you will probably see it in Hyrule Castle. I don't have a weapon equipped. Great. Anyways. Yo, what's up, Wobber? Can't stick around, but hope the event goes well. Thank you, thank you. Okay, so we're gonna have to go defeat the sludge. But of course, we're not gonna... This is the fourth most broken game in the franchise, and every single game of Buffett has arbitrary code execution. It basically means that they can do whatever they want, whenever they want. So you know what that means. If you think that we're going to be doing any of these intended, we'd actually be right. We're going to be doing one of them will be intended. But the other three? Yeah, the other three will not be intended whatsoever.
Use your power to turn on the 4 faucets, and you can collect water here.
Heed my words. So,
Heed my words.
I will just kind of show you guys what I mean, that we're not going to do any of these normal. First, we're going to kill a choo-choo that is over there. I said we're going to kill a choo-choo that is over there. That is because Sidon really likes that choo-choo for whatever reason. Come here, Sidon. So we're just gonna clip through the floor. We're gonna clip into this grate, and that just opens the door for us. And boom, there's one done. So these little grates that are around, we can just phase through the floor and skip every single puzzle that is tied to it.
Yes.
So we have to open the fire here. Actually, I don't think we do. I think I could just do this. Right? Yeah, okay. That's how I'm supposed to do it. Okay, so I'm gonna spawn, that's not a steering stick. I'll hand this up. And usually, you have to get a ball here. Hopefully, please, Sidon, say that you can spawn here without Mineru being here. Please, I don't think there's enough for him. Sidon? Hey, Sidon spawns. Okay. So now we're gonna clip through the ground. And we're gonna swing our sword, and we're going to activate another water tunnel. We have to get rid of the water, because if we do not get rid of the water, then we just can't swing our sword.
Well done.
So that's second terminal. And Sidon is actually the most annoying of the sages, for a couple reasons. First, with Tulin and Yunobo, you can have them kind of teleport to you whenever you want. For Tulin, it's with the paraglider. Through Yunobo, you can do it with any Zona device. We do it with a whale. But with Sidon, we can't do that. And the reason why Sidon was worse than Riju, I'd actually say Riju is worse because she likes to run instead of teleport, but Riju can run fast. Sidon can't. And he likes fighting things, for some odd reason. So yeah. Usually you'll deactivate Mineru here. It's slower to deactivate Mineru. But, of course, it's because Mineru takes up space that Sidon needs, but I've been getting lucky. Wow, I have never seen that happen before. Sidon! And this is what I mean, is that Sidon usually just decides that we're not going to spawn in. Sidon! Thank you! There we go. And that's why Sidon's the most annoying sage, because you have to use manipulations to try to get him to spawn in. That's why I'm basically going into scope and just spamming pings. Spamming pings isn't as important, but going into scope limits Link's loading range, which unloads Sidon. If Sidon ever gets unloaded, it'll teleport to you. Exactly. I think that's how it works. So now we're gonna go fight a Muktarok. I think this gold is just fake. It's gotta be. There's no way. Alright, so, Muktarok really just, like, doesn't do anything. So...
The sludge is everywhere. Let's use water to clear.
And he's dead. So yeah, we can just one-shot Muktarok. Drop, equip. Drop. And that is Water Temple. Nice. Okay. Okay. So again, meet the Zoggle. And the reason why we have to Zoggle is because, technically, exiting a dungeon counts as a warp, so brace your pocket rocket. Okay. And this is where fish drama really comes to a head, and this is why we call it fish drama. Because this cutscene is the longest out of any of the ending cutscenes. Even longer than Mineru's. And that is because we just did like unskippable coronation and celebration and more yapping. So this is fish drama at its finest, that is to say.
No!
This was just as bad in, this was just as bad in Breath of the Wilds, which is where fish drama originally started. But now, you know, of course, it's back. Like, this is going to be, I think it's 2.5 minutes, if I am not mistaken. Which is a lot more than any of the other ones.
Haha.
Sure.
Ah. Haha.
I think it, is it more than that? I think it, is it more than that? Probably. Nope, it's right on the dot. Okay. Now we go to Fire Temple. Okay. Here. And we're just going to conveniently card slide over to like said, we're going to card slide over to Brown City. Like this. These slides with Ultra Hand are a little harder than the ones with Recall. They're really not that bad. I did them for I've done them for 6 hours straight and haven't failed, and I've failed them like a couple times. These are a lot harder in laggy areas, which is why I'm failing them. But at the end of the day, it's like, you know, 3 to 5 seconds. It's not the end of the world.
Hey.
So now we are going to give some good old meth addicts a cure. Here's Junobo with his trusty little face mask. It's probably cleansing his pores.
Hey.
Also, that glorious banging sound that is giving music to your ears is our collision with the ground. Isn't it? Doesn't it sound so amazing, so marvelous? It's so great. Oh, that's not speaking. Okay, so now we are going to slide over to Yunobo's second hiding place.
Good.
So now we're gonna go fix you up. What? That's something. I've never had that happen before. Learn something new every day. I have no clue what happened. I genuinely have no clue what happened. Sure. So one of the main reasons why we do Monero is not just because we can get really valuable items, but also because Monero just completely cheeses this fight. As long as we're on Monero, Yunobo cannot hurt us. We will get hurt by the fire damage, of course. But if we activate Sidon's water bubble, then we won't take any fire damage. So we're gonna do that, and we're also gonna do craft on Topaz. So put on Monero. We're just gonna run this thing over here. We're gonna do some Topaz. Yeah, this fight is completely cheesable. You get there. Okay, hit him one more time. Where's Monero? Monero! I need to do some fairies real quick. I gotta do some okay. There's Yunobo. I duped a little extra fairies, some ancient blades. Ancient blades will come in really handy in Hyrule Castle, especially for some specific enemies that cause lots of problems. Ancient blades are also very, very good for that. That's it. That's what all the ancient blades for. And then Topaz are going to be good for all of Gerudo, and then definitely for the Demon King's army, because they have lots of damage and they do lots of AoE. And those two combined will basically give us grenades, essentially. They're basically just electric grenades. Maybe I can get it here. I haven't gotten it in a hot minute. There is a way to break both of these rocks at the same time. I'm going to try to go for it. It's not that much time loss if you don't go for it, but I don't know. I just want to.
Huh? 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 Oh.
Okay. Come here, Yunobo. I line it up here, and then I push him up. I think it's like. Missed it. Unfortunate.
Here I go!
There we go.
Ooh. Huh? Hmm. Huh. Huh. Oh. Ooh. Yep.
Okay, so now we're going to cart slide up to Moragia. Hopefully. So we're going to do something called a V-slide. Hopefully. These are very, very challenging when I do not have the access to recall. And I still managed to do it, kind of. I think this is distance from just... Yunobo, move out of my way. Yunobo just so happens to also mount your carts, so it can get very annoying very, very
Here I
fast.
go!
So that's why the V-Slide failed. It's for that specific. Hey! This also doesn't cancel your speed, so if you see... Oh, nope, we're too high. Okay, there goes a fairy. And now it is time to fight Moragia. That was not that great of a V-Slide, unfortunately. RV slides I should probably use here, but I'll show you, if you're wondering what an RV slide is, I'll show you later. V-slide stands for, the slide looks like a V, and R is...
Oh boy, it's real big!
1, 2, 3, 4, 5...
Here I go! Nice shot! Goro! Got it, Goro!
Nice. So there's Moragia. Moragia is very, very trivial with pocket rockets and wings, as you can tell. So now we're going to go down to Fire Temple. And we do 40 fairies-ish, 35. You usually only need around 35. I usually do 40 just because I died and it's not great. So I'm going to do 40 fairies so that we can just not need it. We can just not need fairies down. So down this mountain chasm we go. Okay. So now Yunobo gives us very, very practical insight when we hear a mysterious voice for the 8th time now, I think. Let's see. 1, 2. 1, 2. Actually, I won't count Spirit Temple.
Oh.
1, 2, 3 times. Or 4 times. 5th time, actually. So now, Yunobo's gonna get in the way, but we won't care, because cart sliding is faster. So we're gonna have to stand on the back, and we're just gonna have to shimmy our way around Yunobo. Just get around
Hang in there,
Yunobo.
Goro!
I'm gonna need to do some more cards, so let's do it. That works too.
Stay focused!
Okay.
Hey! Huh?
Alright, so now we see Zelda.
Oh.
And then Yunobo's gonna go up there, and he's gonna try to talk to her. And he's gonna kind of leave us behind. So instead of going up there and breaking the rocks, you can actually just go around the side, and it will get the cutscene trigger, and it will kind of just teleport him through the wall casually. So that's exactly what we're gonna do. So as you can see, we hit the cutscene trigger. He's like, "Hey, Goro, what's this?" And just teleports through the wall. Yeah, okay.
Huh?
So now we're gonna run over here, and we're just gonna activate this. get a magical secret voice to tell us what to do. Even though we already know what to do. But, of course, Yunobo doesn't because he's dumb and he doesn't know anything. Okay. Mr. Sir, please use the 5 padlocks to unlock the 5 padlocks.
Young Little Rock,
Young Little Rock. He's...
the gate you must pass through is firmly locked with 5 padlocks.
You know what? This would actually be a good time to share kind of my credentials. So I'm Dino, or Rhino, depending on where I am, or depending on, you know, what some people want to call me. I've been playing Tears of the Kingdom for around 2 years, essentially. I'm playing kind of since the very beginning. I'm mainly a 100% runner, but I dabble in kind of a little bit everything. Right now I'm the current world record holder for the All Shrines category, and I was also the world record holder for... that's unfortunate. I was also the world record holder for some other categories, other category extensions in the past. Being like 10 Koroks, 100 Koroks, all quests as well. Some of them are on the leaderboard, but I've won a lot. Or I haven't say won a lot, but I have a lot of experience in the game. Also, Small Ant hosted a bingo tournament with some of the people that I will be participating in bingo on Thursday, I think. And I won the tournament.
Stay focused. Here I go.
I should probably talk about a little bit of what I'm doing here. So if we get on top of a wing, it counts as mounting a Zonai device. Like for example, like a wing device, like how you're supposed to intentionally beat Miragia. But we don't do that way. So if we mount a wing, Yunobo will immediately teleport to us, and if we line ourselves up just right, we can
Hang in there, Goro. Goro,
we can just kind of warp. He can kind of warp to us, and we can just kind of hit the gongs. So that's what I'm doing here. For Tulin, when we pull out the paraglider, he will warp to us, so he's not that big of a problem. But sometimes he can kind of get a little annoying.
don't give up.
Spawn a wing.
Goro, I can do it.
And there's the fourth gong. I think most of these golds are fake golds in the templates.
Only one left.
Because I don't think these golds are possible to beat whatsoever.
Hang in there, Goro.
So now, you usually have to, like, go from above, but if we just use Sidon's bubble, we can actually just pull out a bomb. Usually if you pull out a... Excuse me. Excuse me. What? Am I stupid? I think I might be in the wrong spot. What? There we go.
Here I go.
Usually you can't take out bombs in fire areas, but as long as you've Sidon's bubble active, you
That's
can have
all. The door's
it. So now we are supposed to go and unlock the door, but that is slow, so we're just gonna clip it. And since we have other sages, we can just kind of get him to spawn in, hopefully. Hopefully. He needs to spawn in. Please. Unfortunately, when we clipped out of bounds like this, Yunobo will not spawn with our good old wing technique like before. Or at least I've never got him to. There might be a way, but fortunately for us, that is just not possible. So now we're gonna go up to... So we're just gonna one-shot him. And then now he's gonna be on the roof, so he can't really do that, so to speak. So we're just gonna shoot 3 topaz at him. And that will suffice. 2 and 3. I need to reset. And that's Fire Temple. Nice. 2 temple, technically 3 temples left to go, so we are halfway there. Are there 7TV emotes here? I don't think so. Yeah, there's no 7TV emotes. I don't know if you guys might not be ready, but aren't you guys ready to go watch Yunobo scratch his head for like 30 seconds? Head scratch. So Yunobo, for some reason, just hits a head scratching emote for whatever reason. Yeah. And then some more yapping. And then some more yapping.
Yep. Ooh.
Okay, so now... Alright, there's Yunobo head scratch. Alright, so now we're just gonna make our way to Wind Temple. Okay, now we're just gonna do some shenanigans. You've all seen this before. Just gotta make sure to dodge that. Just gotta keep inching forward until there we go. Let's dupe a couple cards. I might need a couple. There we go. We won't really need wings for the rest of the run. I am very far up on this cards. Wow. Where am I going? I am sliding. This card's trajectory is very weird. So now we're going to look up. And hopefully, if I look up enough, we will get something called a Sunny Day glitch. And essentially, if you load Wind Temple when it is sunny somewhere, and you load it so fast that the weather doesn't have time to load in, essentially, it will just always stay sunny. I think I got it. This is complete RNG, by the way. There's not an actual way to, like, manipulate this. So I'm gonna swap my weapons. Yeah, so I think I got Sunny Day glitch. And I'm gonna sort my weapons so that I can preserve this cart weapon at my feet. If you were to just drop this, it would fly away, and if you were to pick it up, it would instantly crash your game. But if I equip a different weapon and then I drop that weapon and I pick it up, if you drop a weapon, it will regain that weapon's collision to where you want it to be, which is not like in the floor, it's actually on his model. Which basically means that we can just reset up a cart really fast. So yeah. You'll see a lot more of this in my MSR run. You won't really see the drop pickup tech, I don't think. So we're gonna drop. Okay, never mind. It's not like we needed that anyways. Hopefully this should bump me forward. Yes.
Oh. Oh.
The path is very dangerous. Alrighty. Okay, so now we're gonna go into our inventory and we're gonna unequip all of our sages. Because they are very, very annoying. Especially Yunobo is the most annoying of them. But all of them are very pesky. Please don't hit a wall. So this is what we call an RV slide. I don't know why it's called an RV slide, but basically we are doing a cart slide that is just like a normal V slide, but instead... Instead, we are using a cart that is horizontal, and this makes the climbing up, or like the shake, because when you use a cart slide that you're not using a stabilizer with, sometimes it will shake in this, like, very fragile form. When you're doing an RV slide, that shake is much less, and it's much easier. The only downside is that you gain a little less height and a lot less forward momentum. I usually do, it is possible to do a V-slide here, but I usually don't because the lag makes it very, very, very difficult. So now we have to fight some Bokos, or at least we had to fight some Bokos. They all just get one-shotted by a Topaz. And then, as you could see, or if you did look, we are very low on arrows, and Wind Temple just so happens to be one of the best places to get arrows in the entire game very quickly. And that is because if you see when these people are around, those 3 crates behind us hold a lot of arrows. And then there are other crates in the Wind Temple itself that hold a lot of arrows. So we're just going to kind of pick these up and refresh our arrow count back from 20 to around, I think it's going to be around 40. Or right now we're at 11. I think it should go up to like 31, 41 around that area. Okay. After this run, I think I'll get a quick, just some quick water, and then should go.
Oh. Oh.
So we're gonna break these. Get some arrows. We're gonna get some arrows. So yeah, that's 15 extra arrows right there. And then the crates that are in Wind Temple will give you like an extra 15 to 20 arrows as well. For some reason, when you break crates with more Zuggles, it has a higher chance of giving you higher arrow counts. I couldn't tell you why, it just is where it is. Go on to one. There we go. So now we watch Tulin go, "Wowzers! Is that a ship?" And then we hear a yellow voice, and then he goes and says, "Come. Come." Oh, probably should have said this before we started. Come. This is very spoiler heavy. I apologize if you're here now, but this is... If you do not want the entire story of the game, except for the memories, to get spoiled, then just... I don't know, it's too late now. The story in this game is not even good in the first place. So you're not really missing out on anything. So now we're going to do that same RV slide tech to just completely skip the Rising Island chain. This is very challenging, so I'm not going to explain it while I'm doing it. So please just bear with me. Okay, we are in the boat zone, which is fine because we are in the perfect part of the boat zone. I think this is a gold. Yes. Look at that. Alrighty. My split's a little weird. No, it's a little bit. Let's fix that. There we go. Okay. Hey, look, it's Zelda. No way. It's almost as if she's not real. Okay. So now we're gonna do the Wind Temple. It's gonna be the same thing. We kind of, except for Wind Temple, we're gonna do it all out of bounds. Lightning Temple is a little different, and I'll kind of show you when that comes up. But we're gonna do the first two intended, and then the last three. It's gonna look a little bit different than your casual playthrough. I'll just say that. So now, guess what? We hear another invisible voice that tells us exactly what to do the last 4 times that we've done this.
Fledgling.
Minero also tells us what to do, so that's why I said the last 4 times.
Securing the hatch on the deck.
This is the 4th time. Apologies.
Use your power to release all 5 locks, and the hatch should open. Heed my words.
So now we're gonna equip a weapon, and we're just gonna... There we go. So yeah, you can just blow this one through the gate. So yeah. And then these crates over here will give us a couple more arrows. So now we're up to 40. So now we're gonna do the second one. Wind Temple is one of the better ones in the speedrunning sense because these wind turbines pair up so perfectly that essentially
3 more to go.
as soon as Tulin refreshes, he's giving us other gusts. Okay, let's do this. And now we are out of bounds. And there we go. So we're gonna hit that through the wall. And then now, to stall just for a little bit, we're going to go hit the... here. Just like so. And that'll open the door. Now we're gonna clip out... And there we go. This temple is so satisfying to complete as a speedrun. Yunobo's Fire Temple is also really good to complete as a speedrunning sense. But this one, it feels really, really good to do very well. Okay, and that is all 5.
That's it.
Okay. So now we're gonna beat Colgera. And most people dive through it, but we're not gonna do that. What are we, casual players?
Nice one.
So yeah, the underside of Colgera is always vulnerable. So if we use arrows that can go extended amounts of distance, so in this case we're using rocket arrows, you can also use wing arrows, or winged arrows, as in you're not using Zonai wings, you're using like Peace wings or Gleok wings, it'll work as well.
We have to stay clear of those tornadoes. Be careful. Great job, Link.
And that's Wind Temple. Okay.
Oh.
Okay. Guess what? More drama. This point in the run, you've probably already seen everything we're gonna do. So it's just kind of repetitive. Up until Lightning Temple, you'll see some cool stuff in Lightning Temple. So off we go to Lightning Temple. Again, it's the same kind of trivial stuff where we're just gonna set up some card shenanigans, and we're just gonna make our way over to Lightning. By the way, we're looking up here because the ground has a lot of actors, so it will actually increase our load times. So when we look up, as you can see, the game isn't really loading that much. But then when I look straight on, at least not here, but when we will see there's these little loads, those little loads add up a lot. So now we're gonna go to Riju, should be over here. Just a little bit of steering. Nothing much. I don't know why I lost all my speed. Should be okay.
Oh. Here we go.
That is. It's over there. Okay.
Oh?
More yellow voices. We all know it, and we all love it. No, we don't. Let's be real here. We don't. Okay, so now we're gonna go to Car Bazaar. We're just gonna throw some topaz to instantly kill all the Gibdos, and then hopefully this should take the one cycle. Nice. What? Am I stupid? Yes. Okay. Unfortunate. Okay. And that's Car Bazaar. And now we still have our handy dandy cart weapon, so we're just gonna go back to Lightning Temple, or back to... Yeesh. Back to Gerudo Town. Usually you don't want to hit that wind, because, like, it messes up the cart. I forgot to do that. Let's turn you off. Okay.
Oh.
Come to where I am.
So we're supposed to set up preparations, but no, we're not. And that is because with some topaz and some good movement, we can pretty easily save the city. Also, since now that we're in Gerudo Town, it looks like we're not wearing anything, which would usually cause you to get sent to prison. But we are still technically wearing our Zora armor, even though the game doesn't think we are, or even though the game doesn't look like we are. The game thinks we are, so that's all that matters. Also, there's not this many number of Gibdos. I don't know why there's so many more in the cutscene. There's just not in the game. There's like 3.
Oh. Monsters have appeared outside town. Shore up the defense.
So we're just gonna chuck a topaz. There.
Enemies have emerged from the hive at the east gate. Stop them.
Okay. Please, please.
Yes! That hive is out of action. Enemies are pouring out of the hive near the north gate too. Take them out.
Come on.
All right, another hive down.
Not there. Okay, we gotta hurry.
Enemies from the hive near the west gate. Let's hit it with lightning.
Oh, man. Do I have bombs? I have bombs.
That's the last of the hives. All we have to do now is clear out the rest of the Gibdos.
Okay, I don't have any more bombs, but I don't think I need any. Do I need any more? No.
Oh?
So we're just gonna enter the shelter now that we have beat the Lightning Temple. Apparently they all know who we are, so that's good. Probably because we're coming to see the queen. This way. Stand here. Okay. Alrighty, so now we're gonna go kind of complete the rest of Lightning Temple. Oh, that's not great. I did in fact need a bomb for this. Okay, that is a little unfortunate. That is even more unfortunate. That is very unfortunate. Okay, there we go. I'll have to reset up. I'll reset up my ghost fuse here. Might as well. Okay. There we go. Okay. Okay, I ran out of rockets. Dude. Alright, so then we card slid right to where we need to be, so hopefully we should immediately trigger the cutscene. Or not. So this temple is easily the best temple in the game. But
Oh? Oh.
split. Okay, that's not great. This temple is usually the best in the game. But you'll see that, unfortunately, it's not the greatest for us. Okay, we're just gonna slide our way over there. Nice. Okay, now, I won't reach you over here.
Here we go.
Okay.
This has to be their leader.
This is too slow. We would ever beat this normally.
What? Does that mean it's like the other giftings? Nothing but sand wherever we look.
Okay. We one-shot the first phase Queen Gibdo. She does not have that much health, as you can tell. Rah! And then she goes up. Okay, so you know I was talking about how Lightning Temple isn't really going to be the greatest for us? Well, that's because we're just going to skip it. We're just going to kind of clip out of bounds. And now, look at that. We are now going to do the entirety of Lightning Temple out of bounds. And we can actually hit these from under, just like so. Okay.
So, alright.
So there's 3 of the terminals. Just like so.
2 more left.
And then we're gonna do the final one, and then we will be instantly teleported into the main room.
Okay.
Final one is right over here. Riju usually gets stuck here. So you got activator. And then we gotta go like that. There we go. And the thing is that if we activate all 4 terminals, that teleports her over here. And then, if we conveniently walk to the center, we will get teleported in, so we do not have to clip back and bounce. And look at that. And very funny thing about this cutscene is that we have all 4 terminals activated already. You can see that, because all 4 are lit. But the game doesn't care. Who are you? A cheater? We're gonna make sure that you fail the first time to waste your time. So look, it has all the energy it needs, but it still failed. It's just a little funny part about breaking this game. And this is just so we can hear the woman yap, because apparently we need to hear how to do it again. I don't know.
Daughter of the Garuda. This platform connects to the very top of this temple. Use your power to charge the 4 batteries, and it will function once more. Heed my words.
Alrighty.
You better look after yourself. You're on the ground. Let's do this, Link. Something more. Gyptos. Don't let them surround you. Don't let them surround you.
There we go. I don't know how that's a new worse for Lightning Temple. That was actually pretty good. It is what it is. Alrighty. So that is the final of the 4 main temples done. So now we are going to warp, and we're going to do Hyrule Castle, and then that is the end. Technically, or actually, we have to beat the game, but that is the 4 main dungeons completed.
So,
Can we go to the... Yep. Okay.
yeah.
And we're gonna skip this. And now we go to Hyrule Castle.
Huh?
This should be fine. That's not great. Oh my goodness. This is what I meant to do.
Link. Link. Come to me. I am waiting. Waiting for you.
Alright, there we go. what? Okay, that's my... what? Is it this one? No. Voss? There it is. Okay. Thought I lost my rocket shield. Yeah, so here's gonna be our main pocket rocket movement, even though we don't really do much of this. You just kind of hold it out, and you just kind of pump the paraglider. Just like so. Okay. Okay, sure. Swing at him. Jesus. Wrong way. Okay. Should be this way. Yeah. Huh? How many fairies am I at? I'm at 20. Here. Actually, I kind of want some arrows. Arrows. Okay. No. Can you get up? Okay.
Link, I am waiting. Waiting. Waiting for you.
Send up, and we'll go beat Phantom Ganon. Looks like so. Oh, that's really bad. It should be okay, though. Is it? I'll just have to do 2 cycle. What? Okay. Okay. What do I do? Do I just clip and then just pray for it? I can get a royal shield in the depths. Yeah. Alright, so now we're gonna clip to the depths, and that is all the temples done. Sure. Now we're just gonna clip again. I don't have any bombs, so I'm gonna have to do some rockets. I need you to go up. I think I can just... I think... Hold on. I need to figure out a way that I can get past this. This is not good. Actually, I think if I do... that is... I need to find a way to ragdoll. That's really not good. Huh! What the fuck am I doing? It's almost as if I have steering sticks, dude. I'm really stupid. Oh, man. Holy, I just sold. Whatever. Okay, well, that's unfortunate. I just completely forgot that I can clip through any floor I wish. Okay, so we're gonna keep doing more of these jump slash cancels. Okay. There's a royal shield. That should give us enough pocket rocket durability for anyone. Now I'm gonna need some arrows. Okay. Now we're good to go. Okay. Army is pretty trivial once you learn how to do it well. This is fifth, that's guard durability. Durability is I don't know if I can do that or not. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna have to kind of count these out then. so we have 25 durability left. Ugh.
Is that all? How about...
That's gonna be a little annoying, because I don't have my... As I said before, if I ever overwrite the fuse, which I have now, I will not have those equipped, so... It's a little unfortunate, but it should be okay. Oh my god, I'm selling.
I'm with you, Link!
I'll fight that TV game!
This is gonna be really bad. That's okay, though. Okay, there's Ganondorf. And this is it. This is the final fight. So usually this is pretty relaxing, but this is one of the hardest things in the game. Unfortunately, I don't think that 29 durability is going to be enough, so I'm gonna have to do something called 2 cycle. For me, it's gonna be a little more lenient because I have Zuggles, but yeah, it's... Oh yeah, also, when you have Overload, this cutscene's a little bit weird. Yeah, that's... He's definitely holding the Master Sword right now. Most definitely. So yeah. Usually this is done without the paraglider. But there's a faster way to do this with Pocket Rocket, but I don't have a shield with enough durability for me to actually be able to do it well, or to do it at all. I have a Royal Shield, but 29 durability I think will not be enough. 2, 3, 4. Actually, I might be able to. Might be a little fucked. You know what? Let's do... Yeah, we're just gonna do it. Hopefully it pays off. I need to do one of these. 6. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, hopefully this is enough. It's gonna be that way. 6. We're gonna dive back down to Zelda. Okay, unfortunate. That's some time loss. Can we get up? Please? There we go. Okay, so what I was trying to do there is I was trying to do something called a voice swap, which for some reason in this version, if you do the final blow and you on the demon dragon, you just lose 9 seconds. So I did a backup, and it worked out really well. So this will be the end of this run. I still have one more left to go. Unfortunately, this will not be sub 250 by just a little bit. Could have easily been saved anywhere. But overall, pretty happy with the run. Pretty happy with how I improvised. But this will be the end of the All Dungeons segment. And then we will be going straight into MSR. GG's. GG's. I will update those splits. And now we will be going into Master Sword Restricted. Hopefully, that's weird. Please. I know I have splits for these. GG's. So now I'm going to try to load my Master Sword splits, please. Yes, save it. Okay, so now time for MSR. I'm not going to change the game language. The game language in MSR is very, very minimal, so it does not matter. But thank you for the GGs. Thank you, thank you. Final time was 2:50:02. Luna, did you want me to reset stream, or does it not matter as much? I can reset stream real quick if needed. We're only like 30 seconds in. Yes, please? Okay, I will do that. Alright, I will be back in just a quick second. I'm also going to get some water, so everyone else should get some water as well. Stay hydrated.